Good afternoon. My name's David Knox, and I have MSA. So, the long-awaited video review of my stem cell treatment. I didn't think it would be fair to do it the day after or the second day after. I second guessed myself when I put out that short video. Say, hey, I'll get one for you tomorrow. Because a lot of people's emotions and things change from day to day, hour to hour. And I don't want you to think that, let me put it this way, people will believe what's not true. And far from me to say what's true, what's not true. But, the power of the mind that says, hey, I just went for this treatment. It's revolutionary and it's going to save my life, can change the way how we actually perceive things. So I wanted to wait about a week, and it's been about a week. 6 days. So kind of limit the talking. I put a PowerPoint together to the point, very specific, and I hope it answers about everything you have. Obviously, any comments, questions, concerns, or whatever, just reach out to me. And I am by no means here giving medical advice. I'm just showing you what I did, what I went through, how it went, and why I chose this treatment. Okay. So first of all, yeah. First of all, why did I go to a third-party company and not directly through Mayo or clinical trials? Well, clinical trials is going to take too long. The heavily regulated, limited access, things like that, and it's really simple. There's no silver bullet for this disease. So, Mayo Clinic and these other places that are doing the clinical trials are using the same types of stem cells, same area. And my PowerPoint's going to show you which ones I got, which is what they use. Which is why I didn't go to Mexico and get my stem cells, which is why we actually decided to go to northern Chicago. I think Lake Forest, Illinois. So onto the PowerPoints. I think I got to click off of here. Process is easy. They take, from myself rather, they took 6 vials of blood. Hopefully I spelled that right. They use the blood to mix in with the matter that they take out from you, the stem cells, aka bone marrow-ish material. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I believe it is. The process is called bone marrow aspiration, of actually extracting the stem cells, right? It takes samples of the liquid parts of your bone marrow. So I didn't actually realize there's spongy parts of your bone underneath there, and around there is the, not liquid, but pretty darn close to liquid that makes up the bone marrow and blood cells that they extract from you. This next part, if you don't like pictures, now I'm not going to show anything graphic, okay? I'm not showing anything graphic, but if you're weak at heart and you don't like needles, I got you on this one. This is the machine they use. That's not even the machine. That's not even the tip they use to drill, by the way. That's just to extract things. So, very interesting process. They inject you basically like this. This is a very good picture found online, Mayo Clinic. That's practically what it looks like in cartoon forms. And they do take it really not from your spine. This is not like a bone marrow biopsy. This is bone marrow you get bone marrow from many places besides your spine, like most people think. So they took it off to the side, more of my hip, right, way off center. They inject you with little needles on here. I think I got a picture of, that's what it looks like. Not me, but that's what it actually looks like. So very interesting how they took 3 vials of those types of syringes of my bone marrow / stem cells. How big were they? I don't know. I have to ask my wife, but there were 3. I imagine they're quite a bit bigger than blood vials, but they took 3 of those. Did it hurt? Well, I will say maybe it's the types of needles they're using or what, but when they put the numbing agent, whatever they're going to call, I have a heart issue the last couple of weeks talking, so MSA is really taking a toll on my speaking. When they numb me up with the local anesthesia or whatever, it definitely didn't feel like those needles you get at the emergency room, like the really sharp ones that you really don't feel. You felt these ones, and they weren't bad, but I could take the pain. I just wonder for some people, like, ow, it really hurts. It pinched. The process of drilling down to the hip to, with that machine to, you don't feel pain, but you definitely feel pressure. It's kind of like going to the dentist and getting a root canal or something like that, or even cavities. You feel the pressure. Um, that was okay though. It felt like he was splitting like cracking my back, like he was popping it, or the discs were going out of place. Like, that's what it felt. It wasn't, but that's what it felt like. Um, and then when they put the needle in to extract, there was really no anesthesia or topical to get rid of that. So probably wish it would have knocked me out, but it's so quick of a procedure that that took about an hour. From the time they drew blood to extracting this was about an hour, maybe two tops. Now, when they extracted that marrow, that did hurt. Again, it was more painful pressure. Was it overbearing or no? But for someone like myself who has anxiety and tremors and stimulus doesn't help my shaking, having my wife holding my hands and arms just because I start to look like a seizure almost, but it's not a seizure. So there is some pain there. I'm not going to lie to you. Definitely nothing compared to the surgeries I've had before, but new part of the body, it made it feel a little worse. Now, they give you a drug called Mannitol. Mannitol temporarily opens the blood-brain barrier to allow stem cells to enter the brain. That's what I need, which is why I went here instead of Mexico. It makes sense after a while, right? So anyone, they can just give you stem cells in an IV, which they did for me for other reasons, the organs and stuff, but those are never going to cross the blood-brain barrier, hardly ever. So they give you this medicine. I don't know if it constricts or contracts. It does something to the blood vessels. And they're able, when they give you an intranasal injection, it's able to cross it more effectively, right? So like it says in 3, increase brain neurotropic factors, right? What we need is to cross the blood-brain barrier as close up to the nose to the brain as possible. So we get the most bang for our buck. Stem cells, a lot of them don't live that long. They'll give you 30 million stem cells. You see these numbers, but a fraction of a fraction live that long to actually circulate through the body. Most people don't know that. Now, there are 5 types of stem cells. And thanks to this handy animation that PowerPoint gave me, I kind of like that. The most common, well, not the most common, I guess so, it would be the most powerful is totipotent, right? Omnipotent. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but omnipotent, right? These are the ones that can generate fully functional living organisms, right? These are those highly criticized stem cells from embryos and, what years and years and years ago. These things can turn into living organisms. Okay, like the best of the best. Not many people mess with these, but that's what you want. Number 2, keep this in mind, pluripotent stem cells. Right? These stem cells can self-renew, and they could change into any of the 3 germ layers. It's important. I'm going to show you what those are. Okay? Those 3 germ layers further differentiate to form all tissues and organs within a human being. We're all made, you don't notice, everything, skin, muscles, organs, we're all made of one of these 3, one type of cell, but three germ layers of those cells. It's kind of interesting. Multipotent stem cells, number 3, which is the mid-level, right? This is number 3 of 5. Middle range type of stem cell that can self-renew and differentiate into a specific range of cell types. So they can't take any form, only a specific one, right? So you see osteoblasts, myocytes, adipocytes, and cartilage, things like that. So they just won't take anything. They're much more narrow in scope, which you're going to get, which I thought about these specifically. That's what I was going to get in Mexico, by the way. Just for the record, I was going to get multipotent. Okay. Oligopotent cells are similar to their last one, but they become further restricted in their capacity to differentiate. So they can self-renew, okay, but they can only do so very limitedly. Again, I can show pictures all day long, but these are more for I believe like straight muscle, not neurological, not bone, stuff like that, not organ. And then the last one, the least potent ones, which is unipotent or unimportant. Yeah, see that joke I got there? Okay. Unipotent are very, very extremely limited. Only muscles that can self-renew and differentiate, right? only a single cell type, and there's many types of cells. So, if you tear something, steroids, right? They give you steroids for rejuvenate muscle and skin, stuff like that. So if you get injuries, this is the most common one they'll give you to regenerate, muscles, torn ACLs, and things like that. So why did I select pluripotent stem cells? Well, it's the second most potent. It's the best for what I need. And for those of us with MSA, we need something that gets to 3 germ layers that literally you see right here, which I didn't realize I put this picture in here before. I put the picture before the picture, right? These 3 germ layers make up different parts of our body. And to the external layer to the right, the neurons. I need neural cells, right? Mine have died, and the sheathing, the coating around these cells in the brain have fallen apart. This is like driving a car in the wintertime with no windows. It's cold inside the car. So you start to see the effects of that with the cells breaking down, the quality of the cells. So it's important to get the right ones, right? The first ones, the embryos, are very heavily regulated, if not illegal. Federally, they banned those things a long time ago. So the next one we can get, especially in the U.S., is pluripotent for sure. My other picture didn't show up here. It's kind of weird. So, kind of mad I didn't put that on there. I just want to reinforce this. The stem cells I was going to get in Mexico were the was it mesenchymal msa-c stem cells, and these are the mid-range, right? This is a step below my pluripotent ones, the second stage that I got. And I'm glad that my mother's husband, who was helping me look for a place to get this done, I'm glad he found something in Illinois, because Mexico would have charged me almost $50,000, but they were giving me these MSC cells, stem cells, don't do anything for neurons, for neurological conditions. Yeah, it probably would have made my back better, my muscles, things like that. It would have done nothing to help me. And I didn't realize this until I did reading a couple of weeks before, a few months before we chose to do it. So it's weird how, you can throw money at this disease all day long, like, oh, stem cells don't work. What kind did you get? I mean, my paperwork says exactly what type I did get from TrueStem, the treatment center. So I went to True Stem Cell Therapy, based in, I believe, Lake Forest, Illinois. The doctor that I was treating me and seeing me was Dr. John Rachel. You can go on the website and see all about him. I don't take a lot of interest in reading the review. I did, but reading reviews and he said, she said, and how's it going? And, the doctor has these accolades. And I mean, at this point, I'm not taking what I can get, like anything, but I'm trying my best to balance what I need and what I can get, especially when it comes to the money and time. This is not a hospital. It's like a outpatient clinical type environment. Very professional. Everybody's very nice. I have no complaints. Zero. They were quick. They were efficient. They kept me up to date. My wife, very, very weird, let my wife come with me into the surgical operating room area. I mean, must not be a risk of contamination or anything, so they let her come back too, which is very nice. I have nothing but great things to say about the experience, right? The facility, the people, the staff. I mean, we got there when they opened, but that's not their fault, right? So they're prepared, everything's laid out, So, they did give me an IV of stem cells. They mixed the 6 vials of blood with my 3 vials of stem cells. They filtered them out, very good process I was reading about. And I got an IV, smaller IV, not the big one, smaller one for my body, brain down, below my brain. Then I had 2 injections, which I can't believe the presentation didn't show it, but I had 2 injections up my nose, as far up there as you go. So, they when they put in the Novocaine or anesthesia or whatever to numb it, I didn't even feel those. I only felt the last needle. So I'm not sure how that works, but I didn't even feel the original needles going to the upper part of the nose. So really, not as bad as I'm making it out to be. definitely isn't my back surgeries or knee surgeries or shoulder surgeries or reconstructive jaw surgeries. It's definitely not like that as far as pain or anything else. It was swollen for about 4 or 5 days. The incision is so small. I took it. My daughters took a picture. Nobody can see it on a picture. It's smaller. I could see it when I looked hard enough. It's very tiny. It blends in with a freckle. Right, it's that small. So it was swollen. I like to take a lot of baths and stuff rather than showers. I take showers too, but I love baths, soaking my muscles. Um, I definitely, you can feel it for a few days. Did it hurt to walk? No. Did it hurt besides anything? No, but I mean, it was swollen, right? They drilled into your bone and sucked some stuff out. So a little bit of pain, a little bit of being uncomfortable. But I mean, that's nothing. If that's the best injury I'm ever going to have, I'll take it. That's nothing. Okay. So the worst part was taking the tape off. That should tell you how bad the pain was, right? The actual pain and swelling. It was next to nothing. Okay. How am I doing now? I think that's the last slide. Yeah. How am I doing? Well, again, I don't want to say things that are not true, and I don't want to give anyone pause and say, hey, wow, he's doing so, he thinks he's doing better. So let's go get it right now. You are you and I'm myself, right? We're not the same. I will say the same day, and the next day, my feet became much more, I'm talking about this before, unswollen. They weren't swollen, but the rigidness, the stiffness, ataxia, the muscle, they felt very light, like almost normal. I still wasn't able to move them. In hindsight, maybe I could. I was able to move them better. They felt like they weren't swollen. That feeling, they're not swollen, guys. It's that feeling we have. And walking, I promise you, when I got up the stairs and walked in the hallway, I felt like I was walking more firmly, straighter. I wasn't going way like a drunk person like I am every other day. I felt very solid walking. Now, I didn't try to test this theory because I don't want to go ripping things out and making it worse or whatever, right? So I took it nice and easy for the next few days. Um, has it helped you though? I don't know. We ask even the Parkinson's patients and stuff, but we ask the doctors how long does it take, and they'll tell you 1 to 6 months. So I don't think would be good for me to say, oh yeah, I noticed everything or whatever. I don't know. I think it is. A lot of my symptoms are always there, but they come stronger, less, stronger, less, stronger, less. They come and go with their intensity. So I don't know. So we're in the waiting game, right? Just like I've taken other drugs over the counter and other things too, which I would never say on a video, just to try things when you have a deadly disease. And I've had some of the similar side effects of feeling better, and then it goes back to normal, right? The normal for what we call MSA. And I don't want to sound bad or anything, but my speech has gone off a cliff. My slurring of my word. I got to have a full-time translator, my wife, when I go out. Speaking to Zoom isn't that bad because it's me and a screen right now, right? Talking even not Zoom, but at work for Zoom isn't that bad, But when I get talking to people, customer service, people at counters ordering food, stimulus just makes it incredibly hard to speak. Even at the doctor visit, my wife had to translate half the time for me. I went to the movies and had to repeat to say a medium Coke, a medium drink. I had to say it 5 times because the anxiety had got me, a stimulus, and I was just slurring my words 20 times more what I am now. I don't even think I'm slurring my words right now, but I'll have to watch this video back to actually tell how bad I was slurring my words. So, go watch my first video and then watch this one, and you'll definitely pick up on slurring. You have to. So, I think we're doing well, but I don't notice any drastic changes right now. I would like to say, there's been over the past week, there's been times where it's like, wow, my tremors are next to nothing, and now my tremors are back full force today. There's been times where it's like, my blood pressure isn't that bad when I stand up, or my POTS, right, POTS, and it's back, right? There's times where I don't feel so dizzy. Now it is. There's times where the headaches and neck aches in the back of my brain doesn't hurt, and it does again. I don't know what to tell you. My hand stopped being so, it still isn't flexible, but the pain went away for a while, and now it's back. So is like everything, is that all it is? Is that as good as I was going to get, or is it like a come and go? It's steadily rejuvenating. It's going to take time. I don't know, but for the price of about $10,000, is it worth it? Shot in the dark, the only thing that can help people like us. Yeah. Would I go spend 50,000, knowing what I know now so far, one weekend, which is a very bad thing to think? Would I go do it again for 50,000? No, not right now. Right? Unfortunately, time will tell, and that's one thing that I can't give you. I can give advice, I can give my opinion, I can give facts and descriptions and presentations, but I can't give you time, and I can't give myself time. We're all different how we do this, how we handle things. So, I do the right thing, do the right research, get the right stem cells if you're dead set on doing this, right? Don't take Advil when you need Tylenol. Don't take Tylenol when you need Vicodin. Right? You got to do your part too. But there's only specific stem cells that are going to help us with MSA. All the other ones will do nothing for you. So time is key. I'm no liquor for 30 days. They say, I don't smoke, but no smoking for a week, I think. And they want you to continue to exercise and be mobile and hypobaric chambers type things like that. So, we're seeing where it goes. But, so far, I'll end with this, but I don't put my faith in medical procedures for this disease. You can't. I hate to say it. It's going to break your heart knowing that this treatment is not going to cure you. As a matter of fact, it's probably not going to help you. We don't know. If it does, read the reviews, read what people said, it helps 20 to 30% of the people. It doesn't improve you 20 to 30%, but 20 to 30% of the people that get it say, yeah, it's helped in some way. And most of those times, it's minimal. I mean, there are some glaring examples where a person's no longer in a wheelchair. They're actually walking with a cane. That's great, but that's far few. That's only a couple, the very minority of people. So, I did not hang my hopes on this. And that's taking nothing away from TrueStem. And it's only been a week, right? They have 1 to 6 months for it to kick in and do things. I'm okay waiting 1 to 6 months, but it might be farther along by then. But we'll see, right? I'm very good at knowing my progression. How fast am I going? I'm really good at keeping track of this stuff. Right? The last 2 weeks, my speaking has slurred crazy, and more in the last 2 weeks than it has in the last 6 months. So I'm good at noticing, am I still progressing at the same rate, or maybe stem cells is slowing it down, right? Or reversing it. I'll know if it's working because my tremors should start to go away, because the introduction of cells rejuvenating that can create dopamine naturally in the brain will automatically start to auto-correct these issues we have. So I'll know right away when I see something, but I don't want to say I think it's working, or no, it's not working, or oh no, it's not working. Right? I can't say that one weekend. But the process is there. It's pretty painless for the most part, and I do encourage people to take every chance they get to try things. And what you want to try and how much you want to try is completely up to you guys. But as always, if you enjoy my presentations and what I do, give me a like, share, subscribe. I implore you to share. That's probably the best thing you can do for myself. For those with MSA, sharing is caring. It's word of mouth. It's spreading the name. The gospel is getting the word out there to put publicity. We got to become advocates. Even if you're just an advocate for sharing it to somewhere else on your YouTube channel or Facebook, great. It takes 2 clicks to share something. Right? Click and send. So I appreciate you guys. I love you to death. I got a few more videos that are saved. I just got to hit publish. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.